Hello all, welcome back to the Cassidy Car Cave. And we're going to do a video today on my 2003 SL500. I think what we'll do is kind of do a walk around, we'll go over a few features, take a look at some of the inside and outside, probably even crawl underneath it, get a video underneath, because this car I'm definitely going to sell on Cars and Bids. It's not listed yet, but it will be soon. So if you subscribe to this channel, you'll get a notification when that car is listed on Cars and Bids. And I may sell it, pretty cheap, definitely without a reserve. So we'll just let it go for what it goes for. It's a great car. We'll go around it in a second. Incidentally, I'm up to 4 subscribers today on YouTube. So, we're getting there. Come on, maybe I can make it to 10 when this car sells. Anyways, thanks y'all for checking in with us. Let's talk about the car. I've had this car for maybe 3 years. When I bought it, it was not running because there's a fuse underneath the glove box that controls the 2 batteries in this car. Why 2 batteries? Well, Mercedes couldn't figure out where to put a third one. But there's 2 batteries in this car. One is very small, and believe it or not, it does the starting of the car. 2, there's a second bigger one in the trunk, and it handles the accessories, kind of the 12 volt power for the car. But anyways, there's a balancing system between those 2 batteries that the car has, and there's a big 50 amp fuse underneath, like I say, the glove box, and that fuse had blown. So the person that had this car had no idea what was wrong with it. I bought it kind of hoping that was what it was. Hooked it up to my handy dandy star diagnostic system, and lo and behold, that fuse was bad. I got it replaced, car cranked over, everything's been great. I have done a few things to it. Like any early 2000s Mercedes, I've had some ABC issues, which is the hydraulic suspension. The valve block on the front of this car was okay, so that didn't need it. But there's a damper on the back of that valve block that sort of controls the pressure in the system, and that damper had gone bad. So I unscrewed it, threw out the old one, put on the new one, and it's good to go. Incidentally, the way you can tell that that's a problem on your Mercedes is if you go over a bump and you get the warning ABC or ABC system fault, just when you go over bumps, it's usually those dampers. And that was the case with this car. We replaced it. Everything's fine now. So it's a great car. It's got 92,000 miles on it. Other than that, the only other issues I've done to it are, at one point, I thought there was a problem with it starting. And I went through a litany of things, and this just shows, amateur forum group mechanic, right? An expert would have known this right away. But even when I put star diagnostics on it, I couldn't figure out why the car wouldn't start. It was just dead. And I thought maybe ignition key, maybe the starter was bad. Matter of fact, I replaced the starter. Had the car torn apart. And I finally figured out when I went to push it, to move it somewhere, I went to push it and it was rolling just fine. I thought, wait a second, the car's in park. Wait, the car's in park and it's rolling? So I get underneath the car, look at the linkage that connects this transmission selector switch on the column to the transmission itself, and that linkage had broke and it was doing nothing. So the car showed that it was in park. Electronically, I think it thought it was in park because of the gear shifter being in park, but the transmission itself was still in drive. So it didn't start because you can't start a car in drive. So that was just a stupid thing that I went through and had to fix. It was a bushing on the linkage. It was like a $4 part, but I had replaced the starter and all kinds of other stuff on it. So, long story short, it's a good car now. Let's take a walk around, see what we think. I'll turn the camera around so you can see more of it and less of me, because it's hot in here. I'm sweating today. All right. So let's just do a walk around the car. I'll kind of give you some voiceovers as we go through it. But 2003 SL500. This car has what Mercedes called back then, and kind of something I don't like, and some other folks will probably comment as well. This car has what's called an AMG Sport package. And what that means is Mercedes needed more money, and people weren't buying enough AMG cars. So they would sell you the AMG Sport package, which is the fancier flares down the side, body skirts down the side, different wheels, and the little spoiler in the back. So that's your AMG Sport package. Doesn't change the mechanics of the car at all, just gives you a little bit sportier look. So this car has that, and it looks good, but it kind of bastardized the whole AMG system by selling just the Sport package. So this car has the Sport package. So anyways, let's get back to it. Paint's in nice shape, Xenon headlights, couple little flaws. I just want to point out everything. You know, that might buff out right there, but it's a little scuff on the paint. Let's keep going around. It's up on these jacks right now. We'll get underneath it here in a bit, but I just put it up there so we could do that. A little bit of water underneath. I just washed the car, so it's still dripping a little bit. Everything looks good down the side though. No major dings, bangs. You know, everything looks really shiny. This paint's in nice shape. You know, like everything, it could probably use a detail job, but it looks really good. The wheels are beautiful, and I love them, and they're Michelin Sport Pilot tires, and they are, let's see here, I don't really remember. I know they're 20-inch. What size tires are they? They are 235, 25 ZR20s, Michelin Sport Pilots. Brand new tires, maybe have 1,000 miles on them. And they're gorgeous. The wheels are lookalikes. They are knockoffs. They look like a Mercedes AMG wheel, and they're good quality. They're balanced true and that sort of thing, but they're not real AMG wheels. They're definitely knockoffs. So around the back of the car, you get the AMG badges, even though it's not really an AMG, but it's the Sport package. There's a little chip right here. It looks like this little piece of plastic maybe got pushed at some point, so it's broken, but it is what it is, so it's there. Keep walking around. Everything looks good down the side. Let's get a nice view. Nice and shiny. No big dents, stings, nothing. Car's in pretty nice shape. It's got relatively low miles on it for 2003, 92,000. So what's that? Maybe 8,000 a year. Not too bad. Everything looks good across here. Headlights maybe could use a polish, but all in all, they're in good shape. They're not flaking or anything. They are the Xenon headlights, so that's a nice upgrade for this car. Yeah, everything looks good. Looks like we have a little crack right here as well on this grill piece. So just pointing out everything. But all in all, not too many rock chips or anything up front. I mean, you know, it's been driven, but pretty clean. I would not say it needs resprayed or anything. It's in nice shape. So let's take a look at the inside. One of the things for sure on this car, I've had several Mercedes in this vintage. This car has the massaging seats, and like every Mercedes I've ever had with the massaging seats, they don't work. So there's probably a bladder in the seat somewhere that's burst, and I don't really have much interest in them, so I haven't bothered to try to fix them, but definitely no massaging seats. And the big deal here, obviously this seat, not sure what happened. It came to me that way, and it's got a couple of tears there. Looks like it's just separated. I really don't know if maybe a belt caught it or something, but it could be stitched back together, I think, but that's definitely there. Bolster shows a little bit of wear, but all in all, not too bad. It's like the air compressor for the fire extinguisher just kicked on. So let's see if we can't turn it on, at least energize the dashboard so you can see the... Yeah. So that please authorize is for the cell phone that used to be in these cars. You can never get that to go away because obviously you can never authorize the cell phone. What's it showing? 92,017 miles. Yeah, so it's in good shape. Everything's good on the inside other than the seat. Navigation that you'll never use, but it does have a really good sounding stereo, climate control. Everything looks good. All the woodwork's in nice shape. Not too broken up or anything. I'll take this car for a test drive and we'll show you, but the windscreen on this is maybe the best feature. When you put that up, you could be going down the interstate and there's no wind in the car. It's very quiet, very comfortable. You can have the stereo on a low level. Very good cruiser when that windscreen is up. So that's a nice feature. Let's pull this out. We'll walk around the back and maybe go over to the passenger side and take a look at the inside. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, so very clean on this side as well. Again, the massaging seats that don't work. So these Mercedes back in the day, they have a auxiliary input in the glove box. So you can hook up your phone to the car or even a Bluetooth adapter to the headphone. Works pretty good, better than nothing. Yeah, everything's great in the car. Let's go around the trunk, see if we can take a look in there. Trunk goes up. Pretty cool that they thought about this, and if you want to get stuff out of the trunk or in the trunk when you've got the top down, because you're always going to have the top down, right? Pretty simple in this car. You just whoop, the trunk or the top lips up out of the way. You can have access then still to the trunk compartment. You can put anything you want back here as long as this will close. The computer's going to check anytime you try to operate the top to make sure that this separator is closed. And look, it comes with an air filter. It's just an extra air filter I had for the car. I think I put a K&N oil charge filter on it, so I have that one. I'll include it with the car. Back down and lift this down. Awesome. All right, let's walk around and we'll check out the engine compartment. You can hear, I told you this is an old abandoned warehouse, right? It's great over here. My area is dry, but you know, it's old and this roof just leaks. So there's a couple of areas of the warehouse where it's just, you know, water's coming in because of the leaks going on, but that's okay. It gives it character, right? So let's see here if I can remember there we go. Up we go. All right, if you saw my video on the SL600, you know that I don't detail engine bays. I just think it is bad when you're selling a car to detail up the engine bay too much. It makes it kind of hard to tell if anything's leaking or anything's going on because everything's too clean. So this is as it was when I got the car. Everything's good on it. Let's see if we can take a look down in the good parts there. No leaks. The car's completely dry. All the fluids stay where they're supposed to be. No crazy, you know, leaks or oil or anything coolant. It's all good. I'm going to do a review on this car, but that kind of brings me to the whole point of this car. The reason I love these cars, the SLs, especially just the SL500, is it's just a regular Mercedes 8-cylinder. You know, it's not hyped up with all kinds of... Oh yeah, you gotta move the latch back down. Anyways, as I was saying, it's not hyped up with all kinds of turbos and, you know, massive amounts of compression or anything. This is a pretty simple car. So what you get with the SL500 is a car you can actually drive and not have to deal with all the maintenance nightmares of the CL600 or, you know, some of the other Mercedes out there. This car, it's not as fast, but with the top down, it's got a great note out of the exhaust, and we'll do a test drive later. But it's a great car, very simple, doesn't have all the advanced systems of some of the other, you know, souped up cars where it's great when they work, but man, they're a nightmare to take care of. You basically have to have all this to drive some of those cars because, you know, they just break constantly. This has been a good car for me other than my own mechanical failures of not knowing why the car wouldn't start. It's been very solid. So hope you enjoy it. We'll go for a test ride in a different video, but look for this to be on Cars and Bids soon. Thanks a lot.